All right, ready to dive into some earnings with me?
You bet.
We're tackling UiPath's Q3 2025 report today.
Should be interesting.
And let me tell you, it's a real head-scratcher.
It is fascinating, isn't it? The stock actually dipped.
After the announcement.
Yeah.
Even though they beat expectations.
On pretty much every metric.
Yeah, it's wild. We're going to figure out why that is.
We'll figure out what it might mean for UiPath going forward, too.
That's what has me so intrigued. On the surface, everything looks rosy. UiPath pulled in $355 million in revenue.
Exceeding their guidance.
And their annual recurring revenue.
AR.
That's the money they can reliably expect year after year.
Right.
Jumped a whopping 17% to $1.607 billion.
That's huge.
Not to mention they added $56 million in net new AR. So on paper, this should have investors celebrating, right?
Absolutely. And we can't forget about those strong dollar-based retention rates, 97% gross and 113% net. That means existing customers are not just sticking around. They're actually increasing their spending with UiPath. It's a really positive sign.
So the question remains, why the negative stock reaction?
There must be something deeper going on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dig into the details and see if we can crack this case. Now, one of the things that really grabbed my attention was all the buzz around this agentic automation concept they unveiled at their Forward conference. To be honest, when I first heard the term, it sounded a bit like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I can understand that. It's a relatively new concept.
Yeah.
But it has the potential to be truly transformative. Think about it this way. You've got your software robots, which are great at automating those repetitive rule-based tasks. But now imagine adding AI agents into the mix. These agents can handle much more complex decisions, adapt to changing circumstances, and even learn from their experiences.
So it's like taking automation to a whole new level, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just following a set of instructions, these agents can actually think for themselves, in a way.
In a way, yeah.
But is this really the game changer UiPath is making it out to be?
Well, if we look at the market projections, it certainly seems promising. IDC, a leading research firm, forecasts that this agentic automation market will explode to a staggering $4.1 billion by 2028. And consider this. Just last year, this market was practically non-existent, so the growth potential is enormous.
Wow, $4.1 billion. That's a serious chunk of change.
It is.
No wonder UiPath CEO Daniel Dines is so excited about it. He's calling it a paradigm shift. And is particularly pumped about the agility and creativity it unlocks for businesses.
Makes sense.
But he also made a point of emphasizing the security, governance, and compliance aspects built into their platform.
He's absolutely right to highlight those points. They are key differentiators for UiPath.
Okay.
Unlike some other AI agents that are tied to a single system, UiPath's agents are designed to operate across various applications. This is a huge advantage for businesses that rely on a diverse ecosystem of software, which, let's face it, is pretty much every company out there today.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. So instead of having a bunch of isolated agents that can't talk to each other, UiPath's approach allows for a more seamless and integrated automation solution. But how do they ensure all these different agents, robots, and human workers are all working together smoothly and securely?
Good question.
They mentioned something called agentic orchestration, which honestly sounds a bit intimidating.
Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Think of agentic orchestration as a conductor leading an orchestra. Each musician has their own part to play. But the conductor ensures they all perform in harmony, follow the tempo, and create a beautiful symphony. In the same way, agentic orchestration acts as a central control system, making sure all the different automation elements are coordinated, following the rules, and staying secure.
Okay, that's a really helpful analogy. So it's all about creating this cohesive automation ecosystem. Now, they also talked about democratizing access to agentic automation. What does that mean in practical terms?
It means they're making it easier for more people within an organization to build and deploy these powerful agentic workflows.
Okay.
UiPath is integrating this capability directly into their existing low-code platform. This means the millions of developers and citizen developers already familiar with UiPath can easily jump in and start creating these sophisticated automations without needing to learn a whole new set of tools or programming languages.
That's interesting. So it's almost like giving everyday business users superpowers, right? They can leverage the power of AI and automation without needing to be a coding whiz.
Exactly. And we're already seeing real-world examples of this. UiPath shared a story about a Fortune 50 healthcare company that's eager to implement their agents to streamline complex processes and improve patient care. That's just one example, and I imagine we'll see many more as this technology matures.
Now, all of this sounds incredibly promising. But if UiPath is truly onto something big here with agentic automation, why are investors seemingly hesitant? It's almost like they're not buying the hype.
That's the million-dollar question. Remember, the stock dipped despite exceeding expectations. So let's dig deeper into other aspects of their business and see if we can find any clues as to what might be driving this market skepticism. Maybe there are factors beyond just the numbers that investors are considering.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about their partnerships next.
Yeah.
Because UiPath isn't just building this tech in a silo, right? They've got some pretty big names in their corner. One that really stands out is SAP.
That's right. And their partnership with SAP just went a whole lot deeper.
Oh.
UiPath is now integrated into SAP's build process automation and is being sold as a Solex solution.
Okay, I'll admit that sounds like a whole lot of corporate jargon to me. Can you break it down for us regular folks? What does this actually mean for businesses, especially those using SAP?
Essentially, it means smoother and more efficient automation across complex IT landscapes.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Many businesses rely on SAP to run their core operations,
Like,
but they also use a bunch of other software
right.
that doesn't always play nicely with SAP.
Gotcha.
This integration acts like a universal translator, allowing UiPath's automation capabilities to work seamlessly across both SAP and non-SAP systems.
So it's about breaking down those silos and creating a more unified automation environment. And this partnership is already bearing fruit, right?
Absolutely. UiPath announced some impressive wins thanks to this SAP collaboration,
Such as?
including deals with a leading data storage company and a major U.S. oil and gas company. These are big players
Wow.
with complex systems,
Yeah.
and they're choosing UiPath because it offers a comprehensive automation solution
Okay.
that can handle the intricacies of their SAP environments.
It's interesting that despite these positive developments, the market doesn't seem entirely convinced.
Yeah.
You'd think these high-profile partnerships would signal strength and growth potential, but the stock dip suggests otherwise.
Yeah.
It's like investors are looking for something more, or maybe they're just not sold on the whole agentic automation story just yet.
I think that's a fair observation. It's worth noting that UiPath isn't putting all its eggs in one basket. They're also making significant strides in other areas, such as test automation, which might not be as flashy as agentic automation, but is equally critical for businesses.
Test automation. That doesn't sound as exciting as AI agents, but I'm curious, how is UiPath shaking things up in that space?
They're leveraging AI to revolutionize the way software testing is done. Traditionally, testing has been a very manual, time-consuming, and often error-prone process. But UiPath is using AI to automate many aspects of testing, including the creation of test cases, which are basically sets of instructions that verify whether the software is working as intended.
So instead of having humans painstakingly write out all these test cases,
Yeah.
UiPath's AI can do it automatically. That sounds like a huge time saver.
Oh,
Not to mention it could potentially improve accuracy and reliability.
exactly. And we have a concrete example of this in action. BeBron, a leading medical technology company, is using UiPath to test their migration to SAP S/4HANA, a major upgrade for their core systems. They're already seeing significant benefits,
Yeah.
including cost savings and improved employee satisfaction.
Hold on. Cost savings and happier employees. That's a win-win right there. How are they achieving both?
Think about it. Automating those tedious testing tasks frees up employees to focus on more strategic, creative, and engaging work. No one likes mindlessly clicking through test scenarios all day. By letting UiPath handle those repetitive tasks, BeBron is empowering its workforce to contribute at a higher level, which naturally leads to greater job satisfaction.
That makes a lot of sense. So UiPath is addressing real business needs.
Yes.
Making processes more efficient.
Okay.
And even improving employee morale.
Yep.
But I'm still stuck on that stock dip. Are investors overlooking these wins? Is there something else at play here?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think it's a combination of factors. The market might be wary of the increased competition in the automation space.
Right.
Giants like Microsoft and Salesforce are also making moves into agentic automation, and that could be spooking some investors.
Right, I can see that. If these tech behemoths decide to go all in on agentic automation, it could put pressure on UiPath's market share and growth prospects. But UiPath is no slouch. They've got a strong track record, a loyal customer base, and those impressive partnerships we talked about. It's not like they're going to just roll over and let the big guys take over.
Definitely not. And UiPath's CEO, Daniel Dines, seems confident they can hold their own. He stated that they're well-positioned to bring the transformative force of AI to life in the enterprise through automation.
That's a bold statement, but it sounds like he genuinely believes it.
Yeah.
Still, competition is definitely something to watch closely. So let's look ahead. What's on the roadmap for UiPath in terms of their agentic automation ambitions?
They've got some exciting releases planned, including Agent Builder in February, which will be available as a public preview. This tool will enable developers to create their own custom agents,
Interesting.
tailoring them to specific business needs.
Very cool.
Then, in early 2026, they're launching Agentic Orchestration,
Right.
which, as we discussed earlier, is that central control system
Yeah.
that ensures all those agents and robots are working together harmoniously.
So they're giving developers the tools to build their own AI agents and then providing a robust system to manage and orchestrate those agents. It sounds like they're building a comprehensive agentic automation ecosystem.
Exactly. And what's particularly noteworthy is their emphasis on enterprise-grade security and governance.
Uh-huh.
They understand that businesses can't just unleash powerful AI agents into their systems without proper controls. UiPath is prioritizing security, compliance, and responsible AI practices from the ground up.
That's reassuring to hear, especially given the potential risks and ethical considerations surrounding AI. It sounds like UiPath is taking a responsible and pragmatic approach to implementing this technology.
Absolutely. They're not just focused on building cool tech, they're thinking about the real-world implications and ensuring their solutions are both innovative and ethical.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Impressive financial performance, bold moves into agentic automation, strong partnerships, and a commitment to responsible AI practices. Yet, despite all of this, investors are still hesitant. It's a real puzzle.
It is. And I think that's the beauty of these deep dives. We get to explore the nuances, the complexities, and the uncertainties that surround these companies and technologies. There's no easy answer, no crystal ball to tell us what the future holds for UiPath.
True. But it's through these discussions, by examining the details, and by considering multiple perspectives that we can start to form our own informed opinions. And who knows, maybe we can even uncover some hidden opportunities along the way. Speaking of opportunities, let's shift gears to our This Is Not Financial Advice segment, where we like to speculate a bit and have some fun. Remember, folks, this is purely for entertainment purposes and definitely not financial advice. But given everything we've discussed, UiPath's strong fundamentals, their aggressive push into agentic automation, and their potential to dominate this emerging market, is this stock dip maybe a buying opportunity?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a bold bet, but let's be honest, plausible trade idea.
Okay, I like it.
Consider a long-term bullish position on UiPath. Think about it. If agentic automation truly takes off the way many predict, and UiPath stays ahead of the curve, this could be a chance to get in on the ground floor of a major tech shift.
It's like those early investors who scooped up Apple or Amazon stock before they became the giants they are today.
Exactly.
Risky.
Sure.
But the potential payoff could be astronomical.
Of course, this is all speculation.
Right.
You should always do your own research and talk to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. But that's what's so cool about these deep dives. They give you the information and context you need to start thinking critically about these companies and the trends shaping our world.
Exactly. It's all about asking the right questions and digging beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And speaking of questions, here's a thought-provoking one for you to ponder. What industries do you think will be most impacted by agentic automation in the next 5 years?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's a question that keeps me up at night, honestly. We've already seen glimpses in healthcare, finance, even software testing, as we talked about. But the possibilities are truly mind-boggling.
I know, right?
Imagine agents handling customer service,
Oh, wow, yeah.
processing insurance claims,
Uh-huh.
or even managing complex supply chains.
Whoa, that's a whole different world.
Yeah.
I can see it now. Coming into work, and my robot colleague has already finished all my tasks for the day.
Yeah.
What would I even do with all that free time?
Well, that's the bigger question, isn't it?
Yeah.
As technology evolves at this breakneck pace, we need to evolve with it. Think about the skills we'll need,
Yeah.
the jobs that will be created, the ethical dilemmas we'll face. It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is a bit overwhelming,
Yeah.
but also super exciting. It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial to stay informed, to engage with these developments, and to think critically about the future we're creating.
Couldn't agree more. So to recap our deep dive into UiPath,
Yes.
they're crushing it financially, making bold moves into agentic automation.
Right.
and forging powerful partnerships.
Yep,
But investors are still a bit on the fence.
it's true.
The big question is, can UiPath live up to the hype and become the leader in this agentic automation revolution? Only time will tell.
Yeah, but they're definitely a company worth watching.
You got that right. And if you're hungry for more on UiPath and the world of automation, we'll make sure to include some links in the show notes. Check them out.
Great idea.
And one last reminder, everything we discussed today is for informational purposes only and not financial advice.
Right.
Do your own research and consult with a financial professional before making any investment decisions.
Always sound advice.
All right, that's a wrap on our deep dive into UiPath. Thanks for joining us here on Talk Tickers.
And thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to Talk Tickers for more earnings call breakdowns, market insights, and of course, our outrageous but plausible trade ideas.
Until next time, happy investing.